Well, hello, IDS 105 students, and welcome to week 2, your second week of your IDS 105 class. I am Melanie Shop, your IDS 105 Learning Community Gal, and today I'm going to walk you through defining social justice and talk through your assignments for Module 2, one of them being the project draft overview. First and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu or visit the Online Accessibility Center website. As a reminder, the Online Accessibility Center team is a SNHU University department that is here to help learners just like you get content that works best for them in their learning style. If you have questions about this, want to know more, please reach out directly to the OAC. A couple of webinar reminders. This is an academic space, so always be mindful of your conduct. These webinars are not graded, they are not required, but you will learn about how to do assignments from week to week and or go over concepts that we are working on in your IDS 105 course. The majority of your webinars are offered in that on-demand or pre-recorded format. Make sure that you check in with the schedule or check with your instructors or visit the IDS 105 Learning Community in SNHU Connect. And that is where I will be posting helpful webinar recording, reminders, links, all that kind of fun stuff for your success here in IDS 105. So a couple of quick housekeeping reminders about week 2, module 2 in your IDS 105 course is first and foremost, y'all, make sure that you are reading your course announcements and checking your SNHU University email. This is so important because this is how the university communicates with you, and your instructors will post helpful reminders, tips, and tricks and ideas for your success within your course announcements. That's kind of like their space to share with you all of their knowledge. So make sure you're checking your course announcements because a lot of helpful information and reminders and due dates and deadlines can also be posted in there. Second thing, please, if you are stuck, if you have questions, you're not sure about something has come up that might prevent you from getting an assignment in on time, please make sure that you are communicating with your university resources, especially your instructors. If you have questions about classroom content, classroom assignments, you're not sure about maybe like how they graded you on something, please, please, please make sure that you reach out to them. Your faculty, your instructors, we want you to be successful. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can always find out how to reach us by looking in your course announcements. That My Instructor announcement will have the contact information for your instructor each term. The other thing I wanted to remind you is that your very first week, those week 1 grades, come back in week 2 at the end of the week. So sometimes students are like, wait a minute, a few days have gone by and my stuff hasn't been graded yet. Don't stress, because you know how week 1, you had to have that discussion posted by Thursday, and then you had to have your peer responses and other assignments in by Sunday, right? Well, faculty have 7 days from that Sunday deadline to grade assignments from week to week. Some faculty grade as things come in, some grade throughout the week, some you might not see it until Sunday night. So don't panic. If you're worried about it, reach out to your instructor and they will get back to you with any questions that you may have. The other thing I wanted to show you is just a reminder of how to check your grades. When you log into your Brightspace classroom space, click on course menu and scroll down to grades, which I've highlighted here on the screen in yellow. When you click on grades, it's going to pull up all of the assignments for the term. You can look and see what has been graded underneath, where there'll be points that'll be calculated, there'll be a grade, and then there'll be any comments and assessments. Always click and view the comments and assessments because your instructors spend a lot of time giving you tips on maybe what you did well, maybe some things that you might need to improve upon, and any resources you might want to utilize for your success from week to week in your assignments, okay? So week 2, are you guys getting in a routine yet? Sometimes it can take a minute. Maybe this is your first class here at SNHU. Maybe you have taken a couple of classes at the university, but maybe you're taking like 2 or 3 versus just 1. No matter where you are, sometimes it can just take a minute when we have new classes on our schedule to get in a routine and get used to things. So just make sure you're making that SNHU time and reach out to any university resources and departments as needed for your success, okay? Here in week 2, you have your very first project draft assignment. There is a quick focus video that I created that goes over just how to do that project draft and how to get it filled out and completed for your success, but I will talk about it also here in this webinar. The biggest thing is you have to have Microsoft Word or something compatible for you to be able to utilize the template for this assignment, fill it out, and get it uploaded so your instructor can open it up and grade it, okay? I have to tell you, video note submissions are not permitted for project drafts, okay? You have to have a written document. If you don't have Microsoft Word or something compatible, you can get Office 365 for free as an SNH2 student. Just click on the Help button at the top of your class, the little down arrow, click Online Student Services, scroll down to Office 365 and other software, click through it, follow the prompts. If you get stuck, reach out to the SNH2 Help Desk, and I will show you where that is when I share the classroom space too. So, as we talk about the project draft, just one thing I also wanted to mention too is that you will be choosing a scenario, just a scenario, this week in week 2 to focus on, and you will be using that scenario coupled with anything we've learned so far in the class and any personal, professional, academic experiences you might have had to help you answer the questions for this week's assignment, okay? Your project draft is due on Sunday, and then you also have a warm-up assignment, which is also due on Sunday. If you want to turn them in earlier, work ahead on those in the week, that's totally fine, is convenient with your schedule. Remember, with those warm-up assignments, they are like an open book quiz. So make sure you review the actual content that's within your module in addition to your required resources before you dive in and take that. It is like an open book quiz. You do get multiple attempts, but those are just some top tips for your success, okay? This week, we're really centering in on the concept of social justice. So social justice, by definition, is the concept in which equity or justice is achieved in every aspect of society rather than in only some aspects or for some people, and affords individuals and groups fair treatment, okay? So think for a minute about what you might consider social justice. There are 5 core principles of social justice. This is really important for you to know because you will be utilizing these 5 core principles in this week's assignment. The core principles of social justice are: number 1, access to resources; 2, equity; 3, participation; 4, diversity; 5, human rights. Things to think about as you go through this week's content and are learning about social justice and even begin your assignments with the warm-up and the project draft is to really think about your own perceptions that you might be bringing into your IDS 105 course, okay? This is important because our experiences have helped shape who we are, right? So kind of think for a little bit about these 3 questions as you work through this week's content. Number 1, how have any experiences that you have lived maybe impacted your beliefs or behaviors about yourself and others? 2, have your values or even the way that you were brought up led you to view people from different cultures accurately or with bias? And 3, what symbols have become cultural norms for you, and have you learned additional symbols over time? So take a minute and just think about your experiences, your background, your upbringing, how you view other people that might be different than you, or people that you've never experienced being around. Because as we went through our concepts last week, we talked a lot about identities, right? That can shape who we are and how we would describe ourselves maybe to somebody else, and the stories that we live by and the stories that we tell others. Well, now we're going to take it a step further and we're going to really start to delve into the way we work with other people, okay? So your project draft assignment this week, as a reminder, you will have project drafts here in module 2, and then you're going to have another one in week 3, week 4, week 5. All of the project drafts together are going to build upon each other to help you complete your final project, the guidebook that you turn in week 7. So you're working on this guidebook final project all term long each time you turn in a project draft, okay? The most important thing is you're going to be picking a scenario. It's important to pick a scenario that you're comfortable with, or maybe you want to be outside your comfort zone. The biggest thing is you're going to utilize this same scenario all term long, all the way for each project draft. So when you answer questions from week to week in the project draft assignments, you're going to be utilizing this scenario you picked in addition to any experiences that you might have in your life. Okay, so there's 3 different scenarios. You got a school scenario, a personal scenario, and a workplace scenario. These are just a quick overview of the scenarios. Underneath the actual assignment, and I will do a class tour to show you where these are, underneath supporting materials, there is this scenario profiles link. You want to make sure you click on that because that's going to give you like the extended version and all the details and information about each scenario. So that'll help you really choose what you want to focus in on, okay? For the project draft number 1, you are going to first and foremost identify your chosen scenario. So whatever you pick, school, work, personal, you want to list that underneath here. Now, you will notice when you look at the big overview, the extended version of all the scenarios on that scenario profile document, you will notice it gives a description of the scenario, and then there's going to be 3 conflicts underneath each scenario. You don't have to do anything with the conflicts right now, okay? We don't touch on those until week 5. When you have week 5, you can come back and then just add in what your conflict might be, okay? Oh, whoops. So you are focusing in on these 4 questions. You're going to be answering the difference between justice, fairness, and equality in this scenario. You're going to be answering, describing how bias can influence your perception of social justice in this scenario. You are also going to describe how different narratives in society can impact your perception of social justice. And then question 4, remember those core principles of social justice? They're going to come into play here. Describe the core principles of social justice in this scenario that you picked, okay? The most important thing is as you answer questions for the project draft, you want to be detailed and utilize examples for your success. Now, I'm going to take you quick into the classroom space, but before I do that, I wanted to share this quote from Paul Hawken. Everywhere in the world are ordinary people willing to confront despair, power, and incalculable odds in order to restore some resemblance of grace, justice, and beauty to this world. So just some food for thought as you get ready to navigate everything in Module 2. So for Module 2, again, as always, to find the week that you're in, you go underneath Course Menu, Learning Modules, and when you do that, you can scroll down. We already did Module 1. We're in Module 2. So for Module 2, I always tell students you want to click through the actual module itself. So click on that Module 2 introduction, review the content. So make sure you're scrolling all the way down and make sure that you arrow over. And when you do that, it's going to bring you through the module. Now, it's so important that you don't skip the content and the reading that's actually within the module. A lot of students tend to miss this because they click right over it. It's really important because it's going to help you understand the concepts and be able to do your assignments from week to week, okay? So make sure you're reading the content within the module, scrolling down, and then of course, once you're all done, arrowing over to the next page. This is where you'll find the required resources. Again, it'll have any textbook chapters that you need to read, any videos that'll help with the assignments, and understanding the concepts, in addition to maybe some blog articles or other additional support that might be available to you for your success. Okay, so always make sure you're spending time actually within the module. As a reminder, you have that warm up. Your warm up again is like an open book quiz. You get multiple attempts on it. There's no time limit. You guys will see an actual begin quiz, start quiz button. I'm as an instructor, you won't see that on the side, so I didn't want to confuse you, but you'll see a little button that says start quiz. You would take your quiz, answer the questions. As soon as you submit it, it'll actually grade it. So you can go to the grade section, remember, underneath course menu, click on grades, and you can see how you did. If you want to retake it, you come back right here and take it the same way that you did the first time. Okay, again, multiple attempts. It's open book and you're not timed, but I encourage you to review the reading within the module and the required resources before taking it. Your project draft assignment, you always want to make sure that you click on the guidelines and rubric. Every time you have any assignments, it'll give you an overview of the assignment. So make sure you read through this carefully. And then you'll have directions. Again, remember, you are only picking a scenario for this week, okay? So here are the 3 scenarios with just a real quick couple of details about them. If you scroll down, you are going to see underneath this supporting materials, the scenario profiles. Click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. Scenario profile is going to pop up in this document. And do you see, I'll go to the top here. Do you see how much more information there is? So you'll notice you have an overview of the school scenario, and there's these 3 conflicts underneath it. Don't worry about them. You don't need them until module 5, okay? You'll see personal has an extended version of what it all encompasses with its conflicts, and you'll see the same thing for scenario 3, workplace, okay? So that is the actual project draft scenarios. You're going to see this what to submit. You want to actually click the blue. When you click the blue, the project template, it is going to open up this Microsoft Word document, okay? And when, oh, I had a spelling error. Sorry about that, y'all. When you do that, it's going to open up a Word document. You might have to click Enable Editing, but when you do that, you're going to see this blank template. Yours will not have the highlights. Mine just has it as an easy way to point out from week to week the different questions you're going to be answering. So pay attention, because you'll notice that when you're supposed to answer something, it says complete this section in module 2. So part 1 are the 4 questions that you're answering for week 2, module 2. You will notice it encompasses the entire template. So you have questions you're going to be answering in module 3, you save those for week 3. Questions for module 4, you save those for week 4, and then you have the section that will finish it up for module 5, week 5, save it again for module 5. I just wanted to point out that you can open up this template and type right in it every single week, so that when you get to week 7, you have a document ready to go. Some students like to get creative, be a little bit unique, and they kind of create their own document. If you want to do that, that's fine. Just make sure that you have all the pieces and parts of every single question, okay? That's the most important thing. But for this week, y'all are only centering in on these 4 questions. So remember, you can look at the question, explain the differences between justice, fairness, and equality in this scenario. You're using the scenario that you picked, okay? And then you can just type right in the template, okay? Use complete sentences. Spell check. You'll notice even I had a little error that I just have to fix. So that's the nice thing about this project, is that you guys can quickly spell check things, right? Which is really nice. So I just wanted to remind you guys that you can just type right in here. And then when you're done, you're going to go to File, you're going to go to Save As, and then you are going to be able to download it to your system and upload it for your success, okay? So I just wanted to point out, again, for week 2, you just are going to be answering these first 4 questions that are right here, all right? So focus in on that. Remember, just you list your scenario. So for example, if my scenario was school that I picked, let's say, I would just put school here, okay? Just put whatever it is, and remember, you don't do anything with module 5 with anything with the conflict until module 5. That's all you got, okay? Your warm up and your project draft are both due again by Sunday. Okay, if you get stuck, you have questions, reach out to your instructor. This is also a great time to utilize the academic support team. So as a reminder, if you click on academic support, it pulls up their menu of services, written feedback. Click on try it now and follow the prompts. It'll ask you a short questionnaire of like what you want the team to kind of focus in on or look for. You upload your draft. They'll give you targeted feedback within 12 hours. Okay, it's a great way to just make sure that you're aligned and answering the questions how you should be. So it's a really great service, and students love utilizing it, especially for these project drafts. Okay, the other thing I wanted to point out, if you don't have Microsoft Word, is you do get Office 365 for free. So click on the little help down arrow, click on Online Student Services, scroll down about to the middle. Click this blue, gets you where you want to go, Office 365 and other software. Follow the prompts. It'll help you get it downloaded to your system. If you're stuck, if you have questions, you're not sure on something, please reach out to your instructor. Let us know. We're here to support you. Have an amazing week 2, everybody.